Welcome back. Well, quiet for the markets. No real updates coming in. Wait and watch mode. So we need to get you an exclusive conversation. As we do that, we'll also wrap up on the show. It's an exclusive conversation where CII members don't want 26% additional US tariffs. That's the word coming in from the newly elected president of CII, Rajiv Memani. In conversation with Shereen Bhan, he talks about trade deals with us, India-UK free trade agreement, and concerns around the rare earth magnet supplies. Listen in to excerpts of that conversation. We'll be back with Business Lunch.
You know, you were talking about the FTAs that India is inked. UK is done. EU is a work in progress. The US, anytime at least an interim deal, a mini deal is likely to be inked. So one, how is industry looking at it? You know, is there a feeling that there needs to be a harmonization of sorts across these various FTAs? Because I'll ask you this in the context of the EV manufacturing policy that the government has put out. Obviously, people are waiting to see what the FTAs will say before they actually go ahead with the EV manufacturing policy and apply it through that route. So what's the sense that you're getting from industry? Secondly, you know, let's bring up the EU FTA, for instance. European companies are sitting on large unutilized capacity. Will they use that, or will they choose to manufacture in India?
Yeah. So, I mean, let me first just the overall FTA. I think we must compliment the government, whether it's the Ministry of Commerce or other wings of the government. I think they've spent a lot of time, as compared to when the earlier FTAs were signed. They've spent a lot of time in engaging with each and every part of industry to understand what the issues are and where things stand. And I think that, I would say, their knowledge, the level of engagement that they have has been absolutely fantastic. Now, if you then take it to the second level, to say whether industry by industry, how does it pan out? I think, you know, FTAs are a negotiation. So I don't think every industry is going to be supremely happy about the FTAs. And in particular, I would say, and as far as EVs are concerned, I think the most important FTA I want to be direct is US. And I do hope that, you know, it gets signed on time, because if we talk to the members of CII, they don't want the 25% tariff to kick in on 8th of July or whenever. So it
might even be August now. We don't know.
So we don't need.
Don't know.
So I think they're keen that and it's also about relative competitiveness. Yeah. So, you know, Vietnam signs something, if someone else signs something. So a lot of this is also about relative competitiveness. It's not just country to country, but it's also in the global order. And it reflects, when you sign an FTA, it also reflects to the industry that there is a level of confidence between the two governments where you're working together to increase trade between the two countries. So I think that strategically is very, very important. You know, there is surplus capacity in some parts of the world, and there is a worry that you know, if the duty rates are reduced, whether rather than manufacturing in India, those surplus capacity will be utilized outside. I think the government is well aware of this. I think industry has done, again, a lot of engagement. I think they've provided a lot of details in, you know, what are the surplus capacities available, what has happened after FTAs and everything. And I'm sure in particular, when government is looking at negotiating the FTA with EU, they will bear this in mind. I think, obviously, India's interest is that, yes, these companies do come in, but they actually set up manufacturing bases in India, provide a better deal to the consumers, create greater value add in India for manufacturing. And I'm sure the government has the same in mind. So they will be focusing on getting that done. But as I would say, not every person would be, every industry would feel, you know, that they had the best deal. And the second thing is that
the spirit industry clearly doesn't feel so.
The second thing is that, Shereen, that this, you know, if you have a duty drop, depending on what the industry is, of 5% to 20%, I think where industry and government, and this is where what we are talking of in CII, where we have to work together is to try and see how does Indian industry become more competitive.
Right.
Which are the areas? Is it the customs duty on raw materials? It's the accumulation of GST that happens. It is energy costs. Can you provide easier open access? Can the Indian distribution structure be more efficient so that, you know, the cross-subsidization reduces? Land, and can greater pools of land be available? can we build a vendor ecosystem where the land that's being provided to them is at much more affordable cost? And also just the speed of doing business, the ease of doing business. And finally, in some cases, it may have to be supplemented with PLIs. So I don't think it's the end of the world. Once you have these kind of duty breaks, how India becomes more, because India is fundamentally, I do believe that the innovative spirit, the entrepreneurial spirit, the cost structures that we have in broad, and the way industry and government are engaging, I strongly feel that maybe in some industries it is a question of some time, but competitiveness is very inherent in most industries. I think where we don't have technology, where it's rare earth, where it's advanced manufacturing, I think those are more challenging.
Has there been any forward movement on the issue of rare earth? For instance, I mean, China and Europe have now managed, US and Europe have managed to get supplies started from China as far as rare earth is concerned. Any forward movement on that? Have you heard from the government, or whether there are talks underway, likely to be?
We haven't heard from the government, but I think India, as you probably would have read, I think in Quads there's been discussions around it to say what is happening. Various other countries like Japan in particular and others are engaging with Indian industry to try and see what can be done to supplement it. But it's a serious issue, especially for the auto industry, the EV industry. I think it's a serious issue, and it is something that will have an impact in the next few months in production and everything else.